Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. I have to do this when, I'm trying to keep these shows to the point and brief as possible. And sometimes it's hard, and I go over, do an hour show, hour and 30-minute show, 30-minute shows. I'm trying to keep them in between 15 and 20 minutes, right? Because, when you get to the point and you lay a base of truth, then there's nothing else left to be said, and we can move on to the next thing, right? Now, I'm watching a show on Hulu called Dope Sick, and Dope Sick is about the opioid crisis and the Sackler family and Purdue Pharma, and I know you all are familiar with that. But I just had to say this, though, man. The same semblance that took place with the crack epidemic, I want to draw a parallel and just prove to black people, not once and for all, but again, over again and again, that if anyone will have our best interest at heart, it will be us. It's not no one's place or job to have your best interest at heart, especially when they don't care about you and they don't like you. Example: black people funded the Nicaraguan war. Now, they have a show called Snowfall, which details the government part in supplying the streets, particularly in California, with drugs, i.e. crack. They took that money and purchased guns to help I guess they could call a militant group to fight against the Nicaraguan government. And the amount of money that was made, the amount of lives that became addicted to the crack, the homes that was broke up, the people that lost their jobs and their professions and got addicted on that crack, it destroyed a whole generation of people. Because now people overcame it. Although you still got a little crack out there and whatnot, but people overcame that drug in today's time, and they had to work and fight hard to do it. And you had the opioid crisis. Sackler family, private-owned company, created a drug, Oxycontin, and put it out in the public, and it became addictive. But it was mostly in the white community. White people losing their jobs, homes being tore up, and whatnot. And and it was a nasty drug, and it had an effect on a lot of white people in the mining communities up in the mountains, in middle America, right? Now, during what we call, the addiction process, when it started taking hold of the people and they start noticing, damn, prostitution is up, crime is up, foster homes are being stacked, and I'm talking about on the opioid side. Petty theft, petty crime, prostitution. They would start noticing, man, something's going on, right? So the white community took action. They want to investigate, find out where it started from, find out who was responsible, and then eradicate the problem. Right. And they use resources, they use time, effort, money, police agencies. They digging into this thing, right? Because they was looking at the effect that this opioid had on the white population, mainly. Although it was some other races and it was some black people, just like in the crack days, it was mostly blacks and brown that they were targeting with the crack, although some whites and Asians got involved, but we talking about the majority. Now, on the opioid side, it was decimating communities, right? But the people, the white people, population came together and they was like, we're going to stop this. We're going to track it down. We finding out we taking folks to court. You know what I'm saying? We filing class action lawsuits. How dare this happen to our own, right? And then on the crack epidemic side, it was black folks was vilified. You crackhead, crack whore, you're going to jail. We calling CPS on your children. We matter of fact, we're locking the parents up for being neglectful by being addicted to crack, even though they were suffering from an illness called an addiction due to crack. Let's look on the white side. We're going to find a way to help you and your children. We'll have your children go to foster homes. We'll see what we can do to put the family back together. Although they was finding parents passed out in their cars with their children in the backseat crying. Didn't take them to jail. In most cases, CPS wasn't called on them. And it's like, wow. Yeah, but it makes sense though. I mean, because this is America, in a systemic racist system. That makes sense, right? Nothing for you, but everything for you, right? Let's overlook your faults and how you fucked up the whole family and your life and the lives around you. We overlook that. But black people, we're going to nail you to the cross. You make one false move, we're going to shoot you. We're going to give you a record where you're going to be labeled a crack addict. I mean, it was just seeing the comparison on how the two situations was handled. I understand why Michael Jackson wrote that song. They don't really care about us, and they show it every time, but it's not them. It's us hoping one day that they will care for us and treat us as an equal. Not them. They don't have any desire. They don't have any motivation to, no will to, no purpose to. Right? See, the thing, what should have happened when we started noticing that crack epidemic in our community, we should have got together as the community and said, no, you ain't doing this in our neighborhood. And all the strong men stood together and did what had to be done to make sure the neighborhood was safe. Right? We sit back and watch it destroy our community. They didn't do that in the white neighborhoods. They went to work. And then they protected those that were on it. Not trying to give them a record, not trying to, put a blight by their name. Wow, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. And so I'm understanding now, It's like high schools, right? It's like high school in a sense, right? If your school has a strong alumni, you can do more with the students, right? Well, how do your school have a strong alumni? Well, the former students who go out and produce in society, give back. See, that was one thing that they made sure we didn't learn coming out of slavery, right? Is how to give back to the community, and not just your time and your verbally and speaking engagement. Now, your finances. This is a capitalist society. systems needs finances. If you're not talking about economics and finances, you really ain't saying this in this world today, right? So that's why they say you put your money where your mouth is, because you ain't said a damn thing, right? That's the society we living in. And so we're understanding that. So yeah, it's time to put back into the community, monetary wise, and start building and looking out for ourselves. Because it's been proven time and time again and over time and time again that if we don't do it, nobody else will. Oh, and reminding you all, November 13th at 8 p.m., we'll be showing Black's Journey, the movie, and we'll have some special guests in the house, and I'll let you know later. And that's at Island Spice Bar and Grill, right on West New York and Barker Cypress. And I'll keep you up to date with that, but make sure you're in the house November 13th, right here on Verbal Pick Radio. Jill.